Hi, Eagle readers and Eagle writers. I am coming to you from a place that is very near and dear to my heart. I am coming from my quiet place. Um, this is a place I like to come and meditate and just sit and relax and be into I won't say that and get hugs, impromptu hugs from
me.
Yes, from my daughter Lydia Grace. So anyway, this is my quiet place, and I wanted to share that with you um, because as a Eagle reader and an Eagle writer, I really want you to think hard about what is your quiet place. What is the best place for you to work and learn and read? And just think about that. What do you need to have that quiet place? And I want you to think about place as um, figuratively. I want you to think about place beyond just the noun, the meaning of location. I want you to think about place in, if you were in the best place in your life, what would be going on? So what I want you to think about is, if you were in the best quiet place, the best learning space for you as an Eagle reader and an Eagle writer, what would be going on? Um, how would you be learning? How would you, what strategies would you use as a reader, as a writer? How would you have learned those strategies? Um, what was the best way that you learned it? What was the best way that you were taught? So just think about all those things. So tonight I want to share with you a book entitled A Quiet Place by Dan Anderson.
Mama, are you going to read a book to them?
I am. Can you please be very respectful to the book and not say anything? Can you listen to the story? How about this? How about you sit with me and you help me read the story to them? Okay. All right. Sometimes a person needs a quiet place.
Yes.
And boys and girls, let me give you another purpose for listening. Just listen to the words. I'll send the pictures so you can see the illustration, but just listen to the words now. Sometimes a person needs a quiet place.
Yes.
A place to rest your ears from bells ringing and whistles shrieking and grown-ups talking and engines roaring and horns blaring and grown-ups talking and radios playing and grown-ups, well, even grown-ups need a quiet place sometimes. But it can be hard to find one. You have to know where to look.
Mom, I want to help you read by talking.
No, I want you to help me read by listening.
Um,
You could look under a bush, a lilac bush, in your own backyard. When you crawl underneath it, all the sounds of the world seem soft and far away. And you can be a pirate, finding buried treasure on a desert island. A bush could be your quiet place. Until someone calls you to clean your room, then you could look in the woods. You might find an old stump for a chair or a mossy log for a couch in a green mansion of shadows and sunbeams. It's not really quiet, of course. Blue jays scream warnings and wind sings in the leaves, but it feels quiet, and you can be a timber wolf, the gray ghost of the forest. The woods could be your quiet place. And in this moment, I'm listening to the night sounds you hear. I'm going to pause so you can listen. See, for me, even though I hear those, I call them night noises, even though I hear those night noises, for me sitting here on my patio, this is still my quiet space. So there could be sound going on in a place, but that place just helps you to go to your quiet place where you're your best self. You could look by the sea on a bench in the early morning fog. Your footprints are the first of the day. The waves are roaring and the gulls are crying, but it doesn't seem noisy. And you can just be an explorer, discovering a lost continent. The beach could be your quiet place. But if the beach is not your cup of tea, you could look in the desert where old man Sarego reaches for the sky and far off thunderheads bloom. Okay, boys and girls, I gotta share this. Okay, there's a word in here. I know it's Spanish, and I just did the best I could with that pronunciation. Did you hear how I kept going? Because if you don't know how to pronounce a name, just say a name. If it fits in that sense and it makes sense, and you keep it moving. And that was just something that just popped in my head. I wanted to share that with you all. So I'm going to reread that page. You could look in the desert where old man Sarego reaches for the sky, and far off thunderheads bloom like sky flowers over the mesas. A cactus wren drops by for a visit, while a horned toad blinks in the sun. And you can see a Pony Express rider galloping through the old west. The desert could be your quiet place.
Where it's so hot.
It is very hot, and that's what the book says next. It kind of goes right along with your same thinking, and the book reads, "But if the desert is a bit too hot, you could sit by a pond, a heron by the shore, stand still as a tree branch, and the water is as calm. It's so calm it looks like a mirror." You know what? That didn't sound right when I was reading it, and I know why, because it was getting a little bit dark and I don't have my glasses on. So I could tell it didn't sound quite right. And so that's another thing, readers, when you're reading something, I mean, even reading in your mind, if it doesn't quite sound right, go back and reread it. All right, so let me reread that page again. You could sit by a pond, a heron by the shore, stand still as a tree branch, and the water is so calm it looks like a mirror. Didn't that sound better? I know you probably better understood that first part of that stanza because I read it clearer. Okay, you know what? I got too much good teaching to let whatever is flying interfere. So I'm going to hurry up and read aloud and finish. You can sit by a pond, a heron by the shore, stand still as a tree branch, and the water is so calm it looks like a mirror. Then a frog plops from a lily pad, and your face begins to wiggle. And you can be the world's greatest fisherman, reeling in a monster catch. A pond could be your quiet place.
But there would be sharks.
Well, not in a pond. That's a different body of water. Sharks in the ocean.
Well, frogs
Yeah.
can get on your face. And it might be so disgusting that you might want to never go at school.
That's true. Thank you for sharing. But if the fish aren't biting, you could look in a cavern where every footstep echoes and the slow drip, drip of water builds new rocks that hang like icicles or stand like sculptures, where days and nights and weeks and years are all the same, and you can be a cave dweller in the lair of the saber-toothed tiger. A cave could be your quiet place, which it wouldn't for me.
Why?
But if a cave is too cold and damp and dreary and scary, yeah, that's how I would describe a cave. But again, different people like different things. You could climb to the top of a hill where clouds float by like ships, or alligators, or elephants. On a hilltop, you can see a long way and think long thoughts about how and what and why. And you can be a mountain climber on the top of the world. A hilltop could be your quiet place. But if your legs are too tired for climbing, you could wait for a snowy day and lie down in a snowdrift. All around you, the falling snow whispers shh and wraps the world in silence. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it breathing. You breathe slowly, too, pretending to be a polar bear sleeping in a land where the snowy silence never ends. A snowdrift could be your quiet place. But if it's too warm for snowdrifts, you could visit a museum where brass tigers, bronze lions stand silent guard over fabulous treasures. Every painting is a magic window that your own imagination can open wide and climb through. And you can be an artist, admiring your own masterpiece. A museum could be your quiet place. But if the museum is closed for renovation, you could go to a secret corner of the library where the only people talking are between the covers of books. They speak so softly, you can only hear them in your head. As you read about forests and oceans and deserts and caverns and museums and 1,000 other things, a library could be your quiet place. But if the library isn't open yet, you could come home and clean your room and read your own books and think your own thoughts and feel your own feelings and discover the very best quiet place of all, the one that's always there no matter where you go or where you stay. The one inside of you. So I hope you enjoyed that story, A Quiet Place. And boys and girls, like I was saying before the read aloud, I would like for you to think as an eagle reader and an eagle writer, what is the best situation for you as a reader, as a writer? What's that best situation for you? What's that quiet place, that place where you are just really growing and learning as a reader? And being able to find that book that you can sit and enjoy and get caught up in the story and the characters and what's going on. So boys and girls, when I walk around and visit your classrooms and I am just checking in on you as readers and writers, I really want to see you doing that work as a reader and as a writer. And that means reading a book and rereading it if it's confusing. But that also means, boys and girls, if it's a book that you really, really like and it's too hard for you, that might be a conversation for you and your teacher to see if you could find that book on Epic and then let that book be read to you. Because while you're reading your books in your independent reading bags or bins in your rooms, that's a time when you need to be reading a just right book. You know almost all the words. As you read, you can understand what's going on in the story. As you read, you can remember what happened at the beginning. So if I were to ask you to retell the story, you could tell me at the beginning of your story, in the middle of your story, and the end of your story. So whatever it is that you need as an eagle reader and an eagle writer to help you to be in that great quiet place of reading so you can really grow your reading muscles and really build your reading lives, whatever you need, please make sure you tell us. And I am going to ask you all to do a quick write for me and submit it to me. And I will send you all of that information digitally so you can respond. But boys and girls, I want you to know, I want you to tell me, what do you need as an eagle reader and writer to really help you grow to be your very, very best? I want to know. I want to know how can we best support you during reading time so that you are engaged and you read the entire time. And you go, oh man, it's time. Reading workshop is over. I want to know, what do you need to be in that great place of learning as a reader? We'll talk more about a writer another video, but this idea just came to me and I wanted to ask that question. So I'm going to send you the information digitally. I want you to tell me what would be that great quiet place of just exceptional learning as an Eagle reader for you. What do you need? Let me know. All righty. Have a good evening.